touching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. Snake eater. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive for the day we see new light. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Hey, how's it going? It's JPChivalry going live with Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, or Subsistence. You know what it is. So yeah, it's been a fun couple days since the last stream. Also, thanks to Mizu Soccer for the auto host, much appreciated. Yeah, so Friday and Saturday were just completely just gone, just wasted. I'm not saying I was drunk, but like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stream or play games really. Because family was in town, so it was fun. It was good catching up, but yeah, there was no time. Friday, I was thinking of doing a 2-hour stream to like just kind of get away or get through the Snake Eater like beginning portion, but yeah. As time went on, it just became there's not enough time. There was no way I could start that. Plus, the more I thought about it, the more like what other codec conversations are we gonna have, and it'd be hard to keep track of like where we left off if I had done that. So that's why we're doing it fresh today. Also, let's skip this. So that's one Easter egg. You can change the credits language, add some backup vocals. It was silly. I'm not going to be doing that during the official song when we start this, but just figure I'd show it off right now. I wonder, can you even do that during... You probably could, right? Doesn't have to be like before the start screen, before the title screen. I don't know. I'm not going to try it anyways. So yeah, last we left off, we finished off the Virtuous mission. That was like literally the last thing. Oh, I said literally. I should not. Because it's bad. But yeah, that was the last thing that we did last stream on Thursday. So we're going to start fresh right from the beginning of Snake Eater. I do have to load a save and skip some scenes and heal Snake's injuries, but besides that, it's pretty much that's where we're starting. I guess we're not really gonna get. I was looking at some of the unlocks, and one of them requires watching all the cutscenes, and I'm wondering if by skipping from different saves or whatnot, because I mean we've seen them, but because we're loading from an earlier save, I don't know. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. This is something we've already seen, but with a different filter. Or not, we haven't already seen, but we will see, rather. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to talk about. Just doing some birthday celebrations later today. So we're going to be cutting this... I mean, we're going to do a regular 4-hour stream, but we're going to cut this short at 4:30 so I can get ready and head out. So, yeah, that's the game plan. Alright, I don't think there's anything else. We'll do a command list when we load the save file, I guess. Or no, we'll do it right now. What am I saying? Why wait? Just go ahead and type that up. Well, bam, there it is. And, oh yeah, I guess I should have. Oh, there's no time. Oh yeah, schedule change. Okay, two things. Schedule change. Starting Monday through Friday, it's gonna have to be an afternoon stream. So, preferably 6 to 10, but that's probably not gonna happen. So it's probably gonna be more like 7 to 11. And if I don't stream, that's because I was either too tired or stuff happened. Oh yeah, let's skip this again. But that's for the foreseeable future for now. I don't want to. I mean, you can guess why. But yeah, that's the schedule. And the second thing, I forgot to talk about it last stream, but I totally thought that I was going to be at the Ocelot battle at the end of the first session. I mean, it's possible, but because there was so much codec calls, we ended where we did at the end of the Virtuous mission. But I guess, yeah. I was naive to believe that we would end the first session there. Maybe if we just did main story cutscenes, but still, yeah, we're doing what I'm doing. So, I don't know where we're gonna end today, but yeah, 4 hours. We'll see what that takes us. All right. And as before, I'm gonna start typing up like the subject titles of the codec conversation. Helps me keep track of what we've talked about and where the loop begins or starts to happen. Even though it's not really like accurate because it takes like 3 codec calls for something new to pop up. It seems like I noticed it with Paramedic and I noticed it with the Major that happening. So I'll try to be mindful of being repetitive, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Because I just want to listen to it all. I want to hear all the funny. Learn some education. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go mute. I'll talk to you guys at the end of the stream. And yeah, have a good one. Enjoy the gameplay. Enjoy the story. Alright.
Snake, stay alert. The KGB and GRU both have their sights.
Major. Major, do you... Major,
By the way, Snake, what were you doing back there?
back where?
You were giving some kind of... Snake, if you step in any wall...
That area. That is the gauge. Saving the game, Snake? Snake, have you ever seen Jason and the Argonauts?
I can't say I have.
It's based on Greek mythology. There's this ship called the Argo, and it sets sail in search of the Golden Fleece. Along the way, it encounters... Saving the game, Snake? Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Snake!
Boss?
Snake, what are you...
Snake!
Ready to save, Snake? Snake, come back in one piece, okay? I'll be waiting.
Don't worry.
a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I'd like to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive for the day we see new light. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I'd like to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Currently flying over the Arctic Ocean, altitude 30,000 feet, approaching Soviet airspace. Arriving at the designated drone launch point. Drone oil pressure and voltage are nominal. Payload oxygen supply is nominal. Power supply to payload antifreeze system shows no problems. No gusts. All systems go for drone detachment.
Snake, we can't risk a halo jump this time around. Airspace security has gotten tighter since we were last here. We can't get as close to the ground as we did during the Virtuous mission. So instead, we'll be using one of our newest weapons. Snake, you're being given an honor on par with Alan Shepard. This is our last chance. Show your patriotism. If you fail, you'll be back in a hospital bed again, waiting for the firing squad. So how does it feel to be a patient in one of the most advanced ICUs in the world?
Would you do me a favor and tell the suits about visiting hours? I'll never get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Must be part of the top brass's inquiry.
More like an interrogation. According to them, I'm a traitor and an accomplice to the boss's defection.
They're just looking for a scapegoat.
Does that mean they're after you too?
Let's just say neither one of us is going to be made a national hero out of this.
Does this mean Fox is going to die?
No. This fox is still one step ahead of the hounds. The reason I came to see you today, Jack, it's time for Fox to clear its name.
What are you talking about?
The situation has changed. We've still got a chance to come out of this one alive.
Yeah, what kind of chance?
Don't get too excited. Here, have a cigar. It's Cuban. This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
They decided when they're going to execute us?
No. Something even bigger. Yesterday, the White House received an unexpected call.
President Johnson?
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Chairman.
It was a hotline call from Khrushchev to President Johnson.
From the head of the Soviet Union?
That's right.
A few days ago, one of our country's main design bureaus, OKB 754, was destroyed in a nuclear explosion. At about the same time, our anti-aircraft radar picked up a signature that appeared to come from one of your military aircraft. Does any of this sound familiar to you? In retaliation, I have placed our armed forces on secondary alert. Depending on your response, I may be left with no choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash Armageddon. With the help of your predecessor, I was able to survive the Cuban incident. But my power is not as great as it once was. If I am to survive this crisis, I must have your full cooperation.
I should have contacted you myself. Did you know that one of our soldiers defected to your country a week ago?
No.
So you haven't heard then. The man who arranged the defection was a GRU colonel by the name of Yevgeny Borosovich Volgin.
Volgin, of the Brezhnev faction. Go on. Who is the soldier?
Her name is the Boss. She's a living legend. During World War II, she was the one who led us to victory in that war. In Russia, you know her as Voyevoda.
You mean the boss? The mother of your special forces?
Yes, that's the one. And she took 2 miniature nuclear shells along with her.
The boss took 2 miniature nuclear shells.
I'm afraid so. I believe they were a gift for her new hosts. The Davy Crockett Atomic Battle Group delivery system was completed 2 years ago. But serious problems were found with the launcher's range and precision. Although they were mass-produced, they've never been deployed in battle.
But Sokolov's research facility was completely wiped out. The whole area is polluted.
I can only offer you my deepest condolences over this terrible tragedy.
So, the boss, with Colonel Volgin's help, stole 2 experimental nuclear shells and took them with her as gift when she defected. Then, shortly thereafter, Sokolov's design lab, a top-secret military research facility, was destroyed by one of these weapons. Am I right so far?
Yes, that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
That's correct. We were not involved in any way.
Then what was a U.S. military aircraft doing on our radar screen? It was clearly in violation of our airspace. And yet you say it was not acting under your orders.
That's correct.
You expect me to believe that this was all the work of a single soldier?
I don't know what else to tell you.
The army insists that this is all a ploy on your part.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Our government had nothing to do with it.
And I would like dearly to believe you. However, I'm afraid my power over the military has weakened since the Cuban incident. I will need some kind of proof that this was not the action of the American government. You have 1 week. You must catch the boss yourselves and recover the remaining nuclear device. Then, you must find some way to prove your innocence.
Prove our innocence.
Yes, preferably something painful. Prove to me that this is not merely another one of your tricks.
The boss should be close to Colonel Volgin. How about a little co-action?
I would not expect too much if I were you. The political situation here is unstable. And Colonel Volkin is a member of the Brezhnev faction, which seeks to topple my government. 1 week. You have only 1 week, and if it is not too much to ask, do something about Volkin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It means nothing. Call it a modest gentleman's agreement to ensure our continued relationship.
What if we can't prove our innocence?
Then I will be unable to restrain the military. I will be ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
A nuclear attack on the United States?
I leave the disposal of this situation entirely to your discretion, Mr. President.
Disposal,
If you fail, it will mean the beginning of a new world war.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that America was not involved in that explosion.
And eliminating the boss ourselves will prove America's innocence?
Right. The higher-ups have decided that you're the only one capable of pulling this off. You were her last apprentice. Screw this one up, and we'll both be 6 feet under. There's no choice.
Are the Russians going to be helping us?
The KGB has promised to lend us one of their communications satellites so that you and I can talk to each other.
That's it?
They've also put us in touch with a couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960. Do you remember it?
You mean the 2 NSA codebreakers who went over to the Soviet Union?
Precisely. Since then, they've apparently been training with the KGB for exactly this kind of situation. Their code names are Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam has infiltrated Volgin's ranks. We've also arranged for him to provide you with an escape route. You'll need to rendezvous with him when you get there.
Control. Unidentified aircraft detected. Altitude 30,000 feet. It's fast. Estimated airspeed exceeding Mach 3. Bearing south. I'm about to lose it.
This is Snake. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. Glad to see you landed safely.
I got blown pretty far off target.
Snake, let's go over your mission objectives one more time. Rescue Sokolov. Find out what's happened to the Shagohod, then destroy it. And finally, eliminate the boss.
Eliminate the boss.
This mission will be codenamed Operation Snake Eater.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Don't forget about Colonel Volgin.
I'm not a hired killer.
I know, but that was the Kremlin's demand.
Demand? You mean it wasn't just a request? What's it to us if the Khrushchev regime is threatened by the Colonel and his faction?
If supporting the current regime helps us avoid a nuclear exchange, then that's what we'll do.
And what are the CIA's demands?
Our priorities are the rescue of Sokolov and the destruction of the Shagohod.
Roger that, Major Tom.
Hold on, Snake.
What now?
I'm changing my codename. It turns out Tom wasn't the most auspicious choice.
What do you mean?
Well, the truth is, when I chose my codename, I picked the wrong one.
The wrong one?
Did you ever see the movie The Great Escape? It came out last year.
Oh, must have missed that one.
Anyway, it's based on a true story about prisoners who escaped from a POW camp in Nazi Germany. The prisoners dig 3 tunnels as part of their plan, but the Nazis find 2 of the tunnels before they're finished. The prisoners succeed in escaping by using the last remaining tunnel. The names of those 3 tunnels were Dick, Harry, and Tom.
I get it. You used the name of the tunnel they escaped in as your code name because you thought it would bring you good luck.
Yes, that's exactly right. At least, that was the plan.
But
But I got the name wrong. The one they escaped in was Harry. Tom was one of the unlucky tunnels. It was discovered by the Nazis before it was finished. I watched the movie again just to make sure. In fact, I even ordered the actual film from the movie company.
yeah, it doesn't sound like the greatest name to use. So what should I call you?
You know, let's just use Zero, like we've been doing all along.
All right then. Major Zero it is. We'll start over from square one.
From square zero. My frequency is 140.85. Oh, I almost forgot. Paramedic is with us again on this mission.
Is this her last chance too?
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked. It's more or less the same kind of fate. Her frequency is the same as during the Virtuous mission, 145.73. She'll be recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency is also the same, 140.96. And there's one more person on your support team. His name is Mr. Sigint. He's an expert on the latest in weapons and equipment technology. You'll be going up against some of the world's most advanced weaponry when you infiltrate the research facility. If you have any questions, just ask him. His frequency is 148.41.
Mr. Sigint. Got it.
Adam, your KGB contact, is waiting for you at the abandoned factory up ahead.
The same factory Sokolov was being held in last week.
Yes, meet up with Adam first. He's cleared the way for you to rescue Sokolov.
How will I know this Adam guy when I see him?
You'll know once you reach the factory. The whole area's been polluted by the fallout from that nuclear blast. No one else would dare come close. The password is, "Who are the Patriots?" and Lali Lulelo.
Lali Lulelo. Gotcha.
You've been equipped with a 45 for this mission. Be careful, it's noisy.
I thought standard Fox procedure was procure on-site weapons acquisition.
The circumstances are different this time. You're now on an official mission for the United States government. It would be necessary to make your presence known to a certain extent, to the Khrushchev regime at the very least. But remember, this is still a sneaking mission. Snake, if you fail this mission, it will mean an all-out nuclear war. Keep that in mind and proceed with extreme caution.
Understood. Commencing Operation Snake Eater.
Yo, you're Snake, aren't you?
And you're Sigint?
None other.
I heard that you're an expert on weapons, equipment, and cutting-edge technology.
Close.
Huh?
I am the expert on weapons, equipment, and cutting-edge technology.
Ah.
I'm the guy that designed your trank gun, active sonar, and motion detector. If you want to know anything about weapons or equipment you find in the field, just send me a message and ask. Later. Sounds like the Cobra unit's members' names came from the specific emotions they each carry into battle.
Emotions?
Yeah. For unbearable torment, the pain. For true oblivion, the end. For infinite rage, the fury. For absolute terror, the fear. And for unsurpassed bliss, the joy.
The joy.
It's another name for the boss, because of the joy she feels in battle, I suppose. During the war, she had a partner named the Sorrow. Sorrow and joy. They say there couldn't have been a more perfect pair. The Davy Crockett's that the boss took with her when she defected are mortars that fire nuclear warheads. They're named after Davy Crockett, the hero who died defending the Alamo in the Texan War of Independence.
Remember the Alamo.
That's right. The warheads are equivalent to between 10 and 20 tons of TNT. Every building within 150 yards of the hypocenter is completely obliterated. But the warheads the boss had with her were some kind of experimental super bomb, so they're actually even more powerful than that. I don't even want to think about what would happen if she used it again. Snake, you know what you have to do.
Yeah, I know.
I heard you fought against KGB troops in the Virtuous mission, but this time you're up against Spetsnaz. Spetsnaz is the Special Forces unit of GRU, the intelligence wing of the Soviet Defense Ministry's General Staff Office. Spetsnaz troops undergo rigorous training in all types of special ops, from assassination and demolition to intelligence gathering. That and Volgan's loaded, man. His unit is one of the best equipped in the entire Soviet Union, if not the best. I heard the enemies you encountered in the Virtuous mission were only carrying weapons like AKs and grenades. Well, it ain't that simple anymore. In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter might be equipped with Scorpion submachine guns and shotguns. The Scorpion is even lighter than the AK, making it much easier to handle. Basically, a guy with a Scorpion is not gonna miss you as often as with an AK. The shotgun is a powerful weapon. One blast is enough to floor you and you're likely to be seriously wounded. Watch for that, man. Keep in mind that every weapon and piece of equipment weighs something. The heavier the equipment you're lugging around, the faster you'll burn up stamina. You can see how much your equipment weighs by going into the backpack screen in the survival viewer. If you're trying to conserve your stamina, make some cuts and toss the equipment you don't need in your backpack. You mean you're not wearing any face paint? You can take off your face paint by selecting No Paint from Face. Just select No Paint when you want to skip wearing any face paint at all. But your camo index is never going to be as high without face paint as it is with it. Unless you want the enemy to see you, you ought to be wearing face paint. The black uniform isn't really camouflage. It was intended to have a psychological shock effect on enemies in hostage rescue operations and stuff like that. But it should also make you pretty hard to see if you wear it in a dark environment. And it might also work on black, earthy surfaces like you'd find in swamps. The camo index, located in the top right corner of the screen, tells you if your outfit is getting the job done. The higher the value of this index, the harder it is for the enemy to spot you. Try your best to keep the camo index as high as possible. You're on a solo sneaking mission. Your success is based on your ability to survive. That's where the survival viewer comes in. The survival viewer contains everything you need to survive out in the field. Use camouflage to change your camouflage and backpack to select your gear. Use food to eat, cure to treat wounds, and map to view a detail of the area. You've also got options that let you change the settings to suit your mission preferences. Got it? Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of equipment, the first thing you do is drop it in your backpack, right? But you can't use your new goodies if they're just sitting in your backpack. To use a weapon or piece of equipment, first you have to take it out of your backpack and place it on your person. To take an item out of your backpack, use the backpack option in the survival viewer. To place a weapon on your person, select Weapon under the Backpack section of the survival viewer. See that window on the left? That shows a list of all the weapons you've got. Choose the weapon you want to carry from the list and press the Enter button to take it out of your backpack. Just remember that there's a limit to the number of weapons you can carry at the same time, so put back any stuff you don't need. To put a weapon on your person back into your backpack, choose a weapon that's already on you from the weapon list and press the Enter button. Or you can just line up the icon for the weapon you want to put away with the lower right and press the Enter button. Do whatever works best. Pattern clothing, face paint, tactical movements. These are the elements of camouflage that will allow you to deceive your enemy. To camouflage yourself, first press the start button to check out the survival viewer. Then select camouflage and you'll see two more options, face and uniform. Choose face to apply face paint and uniform to change your field uniform. Simple, really. Make sure and choose something that'll match your surroundings. Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of equipment, you're wearing the tiger stripe pattern camouflage, huh? Tiger stripe is a forest camouflage. As you may have guessed by the name, it mimics the stripe pattern on a tiger's coat. It was originally worn by South Vietnamese Marines. Then it caught the attention of an American military advisor, and now they're thinking of introducing it into all kinds of special forces units. It works best in places with lots of trees and grass, but it should blend in with dirt and mud, too. Covering your body is a good start, but a bare face will kill even the best camouflage. If the situation calls for a high camo index, you better break out the face paint. To apply face paint, select face from the camouflage menu in the survival viewer. Then choose a face paint that blends in with your surroundings. When you fire continuously with a gun like the assault rifle, the recoil will cause your shots to veer off target. But if you crouch or lie down, you can suppress the recoil and keep a tight fire pattern. So when you gotta hit that bullseye, take a low position. When you fire continuously with a gun like... You mean you're not wearing any face paint? You can take off... Keep in mind that every weapon and piece of...
Paramedic.
Snake, it's so good to hear from you again.
Same here. It's been a week, hasn't it?
4 days, actually.
Huh?
I visited you in the hospital. You were still unconscious, though.
Then you must have seen me naked.
Yeah, but you were all wrapped up in bandages and tubes, so I couldn't do anything but look.
Better luck next time.
Let's hope so. But seriously, don't forget that you were like that until just yesterday. In fact, you really shouldn't even be on this mission. Keep an eye on your stamina gauge. If you start to run low, don't push yourself. Eat something to replenish your stamina. And try not to get yourself hurt. If you're wounded or get bitten by a venomous animal, go into the survival viewer immediately and treat yourself using Cure.
Yeah. I can see you still know how to nag.
You're welcome. And I can see you still don't know when to keep your mouth shut.
Maybe so. By the way, I heard you're going to lose your medical license if this mission fails.
Yes, there was talk of that, but the mission won't fail, will it?
Of course not.
Good. I believe in you. But you know what? I really don't care about my medical license.
Didn't they use that to force you to participate in this operation?
No, I volunteered.
Why?
So that I could watch over you.
Huh.
Snake, you're the best agent I've ever seen. But you push yourself too hard. You're reckless. Someone has to stop you from getting into trouble, to make sure you and the boss don't kill each other. So that's why I volunteered. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better guardian angel than me, right?
Thanks.
Stop right there.
Huh?
You can thank me when you get back.
All right.
Snake, unlike the Virtuous mission, this is a night operation. You'll be encountering nocturnal animals that you didn't encounter your last mission. Some of them are venomous, like the king cobra, so be careful. If you get bitten by a venomous animal, the poison will spread through your body and rapidly drain your life gauge. If that's the case, go into the cure screen in survival viewer immediately and inject yourself with serum. Got it? Snake, that's the home to the Otten frog. The Otten frog is a large, corpulent species of frog. They're known as a delicacy, so it might be worth catching them for food. The Otten frog was originally found only on Amami Oshima in Japan. Frogs usually have 4 toes on their front legs, but the Otten frog is unique in that it has 5.
Got it. By the way, you said they were known as a delicacy, right?
Right.
So that means they must taste pretty good, huh?
I guess so. I hear that in Japan, Otten frog sashimi and sukiyaki are popular dishes.
Really?
Yeah.
Japan, huh? That place is starting to sound better and better.
Snake, that area is inhabited by the Japanese flying squirrel. Japanese flying squirrels are non-venomous, and they shouldn't attack you. The head, front legs, hind legs, and tail of the Japanese flying squirrel are connected by a membrane of skin, which allows the squirrel to glide from tree to tree. It says here that if it catches a good wind, it can fly more than 100 yards.
Sounds like it's gonna be tough to catch one.
So, aren't you going to ask me?
You know it. How does it taste?
Not sure.
Not sure.
The guy doesn't say anything about it.
Why not?
Gee, maybe it's because no one would ever think of eating a flying squirrel.
Then I must be the first one.
Maybe you are. You can capture animals alive by using the tranquilizer gun or a mousetrap. When you capture a live animal, you can carry it on you as a weapon by going to backpack in the survival viewer. Once an animal is on your person, equip it and press the weapon button to throw it. Throwing a venomous animal at an enemy might be enough to knock him out. Even non-venomous animals like frogs can be used to distract the enemy's attention. And since I know you're going to ask me, yes, keeping animals alive prevents them from rotting and makes them taste better when you eat them. Remember, though, you've only got 3 cages for capturing live animals. When you're bitten by a venomous animal such as a snake or a spider, or hit by a poisoned arrow, the poison will start to affect your body. Your life will decrease with each passing minute, so cure the poison as soon as possible. To cure poison, go into Cure in the survival viewer and inject yourself with a dose of serum. You can get serum from enemies. Either hold them up or shake their bodies down after you defeat them. I'm pretty sure you can also get serum by capturing the rabbits that live in that area. There should be a mushroom called the Baikal scaly-tooth growing in that area. The Baikal scaly-tooth mushroom is used as an antidote to poison. It usually grows on the trunks of trees, so look for it there.
How does it taste?
I think you're going to be disappointed.
Damn.
Oh, quit your whining. You know what they say, good medicine tastes bitter. There should be an herb called Chinese plantain growing in that area. The Chinese plantain is an herb that resembles a plantain root. The leaves and seeds contain large amounts of aucubin, choline, and tannin. When you mash it up and apply it to a wound, it helps stop the flow of blood and eases the pain a bit. The Chinese plantain becomes a styptic when you pick it up. If you see one, don't forget to take it with you. Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar. That's why it's always a good idea to carry as many medical items with you as possible. If you start to run out of medical items, find some more as soon as you can. The enemy should be carrying medical supplies as well. You can get them by holding up enemy soldiers and shaking down their bodies. When you get shot, you'll sometimes suffer a gunshot wound. The chance of suffering a serious injury is especially high at close range. When you have a gunshot wound, your maximum life will decrease depending on its severity. Gunshot wounds will heal naturally over time, but if you want it to heal faster, go into Cure in the survival viewer and treat it. To treat a gunshot wound, you need to dig out the bullet with your knife, disinfect the wound, and apply styptic, then wrap it in a bandage. When all that's finished, the gunshot wound will be fully healed. Burns happen when you're engulfed in flames or get caught in an explosion. When you've got a burn, your maximum life will go down depending on its severity. Burns heal naturally over time without you doing anything, but if you go into Cure in the survival viewer and treat the burn, you can heal it instantaneously. To treat the burn, lightly spread the ointment over the wound and wrap it in bandages. If you do both of these things, you can heal the burn altogether. Snake, I think there's a plant called Slav horehound growing in that area. Slav horehound is an herb in the horehound family. It contains large amounts of diterpene, flavonoids, and alkaloids, which give it strong germicidal properties. If you find one, it should make a good disinfectant. Snake, be careful when you approach the enemy. The closer you are to them, the more accurate their shots will be, and the more damage their weapons will do. That means you've got a greater chance of getting seriously wounded. Daring frontal assaults are not a good idea. But if you do get seriously injured, go into the survival viewer and treat it immediately. You should be able to find Ezocomfrey in that area. Ezocomfrey is a plant in the comfrey family that's found only in Selenoyarsk. If you find one, you can use it as a cast to treat broken bones.
How can a plant be turned into a splint?
The roots of the Ezocomfrey are extremely sticky. You can use them as a kind of plaster cast to fasten the affected area in place.
I get it.
There's an herb called the Amur kudzu growing in that area. Amur kudzu is a member of the bean family and a close relative of the kudzu weed. The roots contain a number of isoflavones such as daidzein, which give it strong fever-reducing properties. It'll make a good cold medicine if you find some. Snake, unlike the virtuous mission, this is a night. That area is home to the reticulated python. The reticulated python is said to be the longest snake in the world. It's not venomous, but it still poses a threat, so watch out. Some types of food spoil faster than others. Animal and fish meat goes bad relatively fast, but plants and mushrooms generally last a little longer. Animals won't go bad if you capture them alive, though. You can tell whether food has gone bad or not by looking closely at the icon on the food screen in the survival viewer. So be sure to check the icon before you eat the food. If you eat spoiled food, you'll get sick and end up with a stomachache. It'll get better eventually if you leave it alone, but that means you'll throw up and lose a lot of stamina. If you get a stomachache, go to Cure in the survival viewer and take some digestive medicine. Digestive medicine and antidotes aren't the only ways to cure stomach aches and food poisoning. You can also induce vomiting. Go into the survival viewer and press the viewer button to enter viewer mode. Then rotate the right stick to spin your body around, and eventually you'll start feeling queasy. When you get dizzy enough, exit the survival viewer and you'll throw up. That should get rid of any stomach ache and food poisoning you have. Give it a try. Snake, unlike the you should be able to find Russian oyster mushrooms in that area. The Russian oyster mushroom is an edible variety that belongs to the shimeji family. It's known to be particularly rich in vitamin B1 and niacin. Apparently, it's usually found growing on tree stumps and hollow logs, so look there if you want to eat some. You should be able to find Siberian inkcap mushrooms growing in that area. The Siberian inkcap is a mushroom in the inkcap family. It's known to be edible, so keep an eye out for it. Cuts happen when you get slashed with a knife or other sharp object. When you have a cut, your maximum life goes down depending on its severity. Cuts heal naturally over time, but if you go into Cure in the survival viewer and treat it, it'll heal instantaneously. To treat a cut, you need disinfectant, styptic, sutures, and a bandage. As long as you have all those things, the cut should heal up nicely. You'll suffer broken bones if you jump from too high a place or get hit with a severe blow. When you have a fracture, your maximum life goes down. Fractures will heal little by little over time, but you can heal them right away by going into Cure in the survival viewer and following the necessary procedure. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. You'll find a fruit called the Yabloko moloko growing in that area. The Yabloko moloko is a variety of star fruit. It grows mainly on the branches of trees and is quite delicious. You'll find a fruit called the... To eat food, press the start button to enter the survival viewer. treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar. That's why it's always a good idea. Food poisoning is caused by eating poisonous food. The gauge below your life gauge is your stamina gauge. It shows, as the name suggests, your remaining stamina. As you consume stamina, your natural life regeneration is slowed and your hands shake more. Your O2 gauge and grip gauge also become shorter. Excessively low stamina can often impede your mission objectives. Make sure you replenish stamina before that occurs. Snake, whatever happens to you, make sure you leave a descendant, okay?
Are you saying you want to have my baby?
No. I'm saying that in the 21st century, the genes of soldiers like you are going to be in high demand.
Genes?
Uh-huh. Remember when Watson and Crick discovered the double helix structure of DNA back in 1953?
No.
You know, they won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for it the year before last. Of course, you have to feel sorry for Pauling and Franklin. They were researching the exact same thing.
Sorry, I don't follow.
Inside every living creature are little blueprints called genes. Through the union of the sperm and egg cells, these blueprints are transformed and inherited by the next generation. That's why parents and children resemble each other. The concept of genes was first proposed over 100 years ago by Mendel, but he didn't know what they were exactly. For a while, it was thought that chromosomes were composed not of deoxyribonucleic acid, but of proteins called polypeptides. Later, it was shown that deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, was a biological macromolecule. Then 11 years ago, Watson and Crick discovered that DNA had a double helix structure.
Yeah, this is all fascinating stuff, but what exactly does it have to do with me?
The inherent characteristics of any given individual are determined by his or her genes. By duplicating a set of superior genes, a separate body with the same set of characteristics, a clone, can be created.
But genes don't control a person's fate.
That's true, but having an offspring that's genetically identical to the parent is more efficient, right? You can expect better results that way.
More efficient? You can't mass-produce human beings.
Maybe, but now that we know the true nature of genes, human cloning is that much closer to reality. Nuclear transplanting is already theoretically possible, so one day...
My genes are going to be a valuable commodity.
Exactly.
They'd never let that happen.
Just think, even if your body dies, you survive and go on to bigger and better accomplishments. If you think about it, it's kind of an honor.
Does that kind of technology seriously appeal to you?
Well, I am a doctor. I can't condone it on moral grounds, but I'm fascinated by the possibilities. Especially when I see such an excellent specimen as yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks for the compliment, but it doesn't make me feel any better.
Don't be so glum. It's not like it's going to happen anytime soon. We'll just have to wait and see. You should be able to find... You'll catch a cold if you hang around too long without any clothes on, or spend too much time in the water or the swamp. When you catch a cold, your stamina goes down more rapidly. You'll also sneeze from time to time, and the noise can alert enemies to your presence. Plus, your body will shake, so you might not be able to distinguish vibrations very well. To cure a cold, go into Cure in the Survival Viewer and take some cold medicine. Snake, I think there's... Snake, be careful when you approach the end. Snake, unlike the virtuous... When you get hurt, your body will heal itself naturally over time. However, the speed at which your life recovers depends on how much When you get hurt, you should be...
Snake, your first task is to meet up with Adam, the contact provided by the KGB. The rendezvous point is the abandoned factory to the north of your current position. Head north.
The abandoned factory. That's where I met Sokolov during the Virtuous mission.
Correct, but we can't afford to have the same thing happen this time.
I know.
Like the Virtuous mission, Operation Snake Eater is a solo sneaking mission. There are no units in the field to back you up. Avoid engaging the enemy whenever possible. Your first priority is to remain unseen. Use the camouflage option in the survival viewer and choose your camouflage wisely. Proceed with caution. Unlike the Virtuous mission, this is a night operation. You'll get lost more easily in the dark, but it'll also make your camouflage more effective and make it harder for the enemy to see you. On the other hand, it will also be more difficult for you to see them. You'll also find that different animals are active. Some of these nocturnal animals are poisonous, so stay alert. Paramedic is with us again to provide information on the local plants and animals. Give her a call if there's anything you need to know. Operation Snake Eater is different from the Virtuous mission in that you won't be able to complete it in just a few hours. The time limit set by Khrushchev is 1 week. Within that time, you'll have to rescue Sokolov, defeat Volgin, destroy the Shagohod, and...
I know.
Good. In any event, you'll not be allowed to return until you've accomplished your objectives. Survival in the field will be critical in this mission, and the most important survival technique of all is, of course, finding food. You can get food in the same way you did during the Virtuous mission, by capturing it. The enemy presence in that area is still light. You should try and get as much food as possible while you can. Thanks to last week's nuclear incident, the Soviet Union is now on secondary alert. We're one step away from a nuclear war.
DEFCON 2, huh?
In American parlance, yes. From what Western intelligence has been able to gather, the radical elements in the Soviet command are showing signs of impatience. They say we're on the brink of World War III here. And with Khrushchev's position getting weaker every day, I worry whether he'll be able to hold them back.
1 week.
Yes. America must eliminate the boss by its own hand to prove its innocence. There is no other way to resolve the crisis. Everything rests on your shoulders, Snake. Failure is not an option.
I know. Major, what should I do with this wreck of a drone?
Just leave it there.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But isn't this thing top secret?
Yes, it is. After the U-2 spy plane incident 4 years ago, plans were laid out for future spy missions in Soviet airspace to be carried out by an unmanned craft. That craft was the D-21 spy drone, the basis of the one you came in on. The D-21 is launched from a craft called the M-21. The M-21 itself is a derivative of the A-12, a supersonic long-range spy plane currently being developed as the successor to the U-2. However, for this mission, we used a modified YF-12A, a long-range interceptor version of the A-12. After being released from the mothership, the drone can achieve speeds upwards of Mach 3 at high altitude using its ramjet engine. It can't be shot down by ground-to-air missiles, and it's nearly undetectable by radar. With Selinoyarsk in such a high state of alert after our last escapade, this was the only reliable way to get you in.
This is all top-secret military technology. Are you telling me I'm supposed to just leave it here?
That's right.
Why?
The purpose of Operation Snake Eater is to send an American agent into the field in order to eliminate a defector and traitor, namely the boss. Part of that mission involves making sure the Soviets find out what we're doing.
So we have to leave behind some kind of evidence that the U.S. was involved.
Don't worry. The technologically sensitive components of the craft were rigged to self-destruct when it landed. The only thing the Soviets are going to find is a pile of American-made scrap metal.
Got it. Just one thing, though.
What is it?
I think they'd better redesign the landing impact buffer. People are going to get hurt landing that thing.
I'll let them know.
Major, I appreciate you allowing me to use weapons, but shouldn't I be carrying some rubles?
You mean fake currency?
Right.
Snake, do you remember the Francis Gary Powers incident back in 1960?
Powers was flying a U-2 on a spy mission for the CIA in Soviet airspace. He was shot down and taken prisoner.
His confession brought to light the fact that the CIA was spying in Soviet airspace. As a result, the US-Soviet summit scheduled for 2 weeks later was cancelled.
Yeah, I remember.
U-2 pilots are required to carry items that mask their identity. Powers was carrying ruble, mark and lira coins, as well as French gold coins. He was also carrying 2 gold watches and 7 women's rings. All of these objects were meant to conceal his national origins. But for this mission, we've got to demonstrate to the Khrushchev regime that America is involved. There's no need to conceal your origins. And besides, all you need to do is complete your mission. As long as you're not captured or killed, the details will take care of themselves.
Okay.
The Soviet intelligence community must be up in arms about the boss's defection. The great Voyevoda has abandoned America and embraced the Soviet Union.
Voyevoda?
Apparently, that's what they call the boss behind the Iron Curtain. It means warrior or mighty soldier in Russian. When used to refer to a woman, it means something close to Lady Knight. In Russia, where they've had a number of female emperors throughout their history, it's a term of great respect. Well, poetic in a way. The boss's exploits have made her name famous in the East as well.
Major, why did the boss defect?
I don't know, but I will tell you this. America is all too eager to get rid of her.
What do you mean?
She knows too many of our secrets. If she were to relay all the top secret information she knows to the Soviet bloc, it would put us at a severe disadvantage. It might even lead to the downfall of the West. Even if we survive, the boss is still too much of a hero to us. With her in the Soviet camp, we'd suffer a fatal loss of morale at home. There are even whispers that some of the less stalwart elements of the military might follow her example and defect themselves. I assume you're aware that since your last mission, several key figures within the CIA have been placed under house arrest.
Yeah.
The loss of the boss has been a painful one indeed.
What about you?
Me? I still can't believe it. As a comrade, I would have placed my trust in her before my own family. But now that I think about it, the boss always seemed to have an aura of mystery about her. I never would have expected it to manifest in this way, though. Oh, well, it won't do to get all misty-eyed about it. She's an enemy now, worthy of nothing more than our contempt.
Understood. Major.
Yes?
I was just wondering, why do they call you Zero?
What do you mean?
We go back a long ways, but I just realized I never asked you why you're called Zero.
You want to know where it comes from?
Yeah, if that's all right.
It's a bit nostalgic, really.
Nostalgic?
The first British intelligence outfit was established in 1909. The head of the Foreign Intelligence Division was a man named Mansfield George Smith Cumming. He was referred to simply as C after the first letter of his last name. Since then, out of respect for Cumming, the heads of the SIS have traditionally taken the name of C.
And James Bond's boss is called M.
That's right. I myself was once known as O.
And that's where Zero comes from?
Precisely. In another sense, though, it signifies a ghost, one whose true identity must remain a mystery, the primogenitor of the solo sneaking operation.
Is that so?
Snake, let's go over the controls for CQC one more time. Press the CQC button once to throw a punch. Press it repeatedly to launch a combo attack. CQC doesn't really start to shine, however, until you grab an enemy. Press and hold the CQC button to extend your right hand and grab the enemy. Move the left stick at the same time and you can knock the enemy to the ground. If you don't move the left stick, you can get behind the enemy and hold him prisoner. When you're holding an enemy from behind, he'll be almost completely helpless. From there are a number of things you can do. By pressing the CQC button again firmly, you can slit his throat using your knife. By moving the left stick along with the CQC button, you can knock him to the ground. You can also choke the enemy by tapping the CQC button rapidly. You can either render him unconscious or kill him outright. It's up to you. If you keep the CQC button pressed, you can use the left stick to move around with the enemy in your grip. You can also press the weapon button to use the weapon you have equipped. The enemy will be hesitant to attack as long as you're using one of their comrades as a human shield. Use that moment of hesitation to attack in first-person view. By pressing in and holding the left stick, you can interrogate the enemy. You might be surprised at the things you can learn. But stay alert. While the enemy is nearly helpless in your grasp, if you give him a chance, he'll turn the tables on you. You can only grab an enemy using CQC when you're using a weapon that will allow you to reach out with your right hand, such as the survival knife, a handgun, or your bare hands. You can't grab the enemy when using weapons that take both hands to use, such as assault rifles, or that prevent you from controlling the enemy with your right hand, like hand grenades. In short, you can't use CQC when equipped with assault rifles or hand grenades. You can tell whether a weapon is compatible with CQC or not by looking at its icon. Snake, this is a solo sneaking operation. There are no medics there to assist you. You'll have to treat your own injuries. Are we clear?
I had a little bit of training, but I'm no doctor.
That's where I come in. To treat an injury, first press the Start button to open the Survival Viewer, then select Cure to start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the Item Window button and surgical treatment using the Weapon Window button. Treatment with medicine involves administering oral remedies and serum injections. You'll use this treatment method when you have food poisoning or when you've been bitten by a venomous animal. Surgical treatment involves applying surgical techniques to injured areas. You'll use this method to take care of burns and gunshot wounds. As long as you do everything you're supposed to, your injury should heal completely. Be sure to follow the proper procedures.
Snake, the food you catch will gradually spoil over time.
Some types of food spoil faster than others. Animal and fish meat goes bad relatively fast, but plants and mushrooms generally last a little longer. Animals won't go bad if you capture them alive, though. You can tell whether food has gone bad or not by looking closely at the icon on the food screen in the survival viewer. So be sure to check the icon before you eat the food. If you eat spoiled food, you'll get sick and end up with a stomachache. It'll get better eventually if you leave it alone, but that means you'll throw up and lose a lot of stamina. If you get a stomachache, go to Cure in the survival viewer and take some digestive medicine. Digestive medicine and antidotes aren't the only ways to cure stomach aches and food poisoning. You can also induce vomiting. Go into the survival viewer and press the viewer button to enter viewer mode. Then rotate the right stick to spin your body around, and eventually you'll start feeling queasy. When you get dizzy enough, exit the survival viewer and you'll throw up. That should get rid of any stomach ache and food poisoning you have. Give it a try.
Snake, if you find an item box, use first-person view to take a good look and find out what's inside. Sometimes it's dangerous to blindly go after an item. That's why you should check first to make sure the item in the item box is worth the trouble. If you can't get a good look, you can use your binoculars. Snake, press the left stick down on the Equip food as a weapon and press the weapon. You can't keep hanging forever. When you hold an enemy up, Snake, when you stand up against it's possible to when you're out in nature, you'll find lots of places. Press the action button. Snake, I don't recommend run. With an equipped weapon in overhead.
You want to save? Chin up.
I'll be in touch.
Hey, you've got an M1911A1.
Yeah, a 45. 50 years since the Army adopted the first model, and they're still using them. It's a real gem of an automatic pistol.
But aren't you gonna need more than just one little handgun?
Not at all. When you're in a tight spot or fighting in close quarters, sometimes a handgun works better than a rifle. And if I equip a knife at the same time, I can instantaneously switch over to hand-to-hand combat.
I see. Active sonar sends out a special type of sound wave whenever you press the left stick. It uses the echo from those waves to calculate and display the position of nearby objects. Unlike the motion detector, it'll show you objects that aren't moving. But because you're blasting out sound waves, there's a risk that the noise will alert enemies and animals to your presence. Be careful about when and where you use it. Something wrong?
The Major told me the exact same thing.
You mean during the Virtuous mission?
Yeah.
He must have been reading those notes I gave him word for word. That guy doesn't know tech. Snake, what's up? Why are you naked? I know there's a naked option under uniform that lets you take off the upper part of your uniform, but without a shirt on, your camouflage sucks and your stamina goes down faster. You don't get any advantages whatsoever.
Sure there are.
Like what?
It feels good.
Man, you do whatever you want.
I will, thanks. Just one question, though.
What?
Is there a way to take off my pants?
Say what?
My pants, can I?
Oh, hell no! This Fox unit is a nut fest. Patterned clothing, face paint, tactical movements. These are the elements of camouflage that will allow you... Painting your face with black paint should give you a high rate of camouflage in dark areas. The camo index, located in the top right corner. Your field uniform is not just a set of threads to wear. To get the max effect out of your camouflage, you gotta correspond with your environment. So no matter where you are, make sure to choose a camo pattern that lets you blend in.
Snake, unlike the Virtuous mission... Snake, unlike... Eat food to recover stamina. Capture plants and animals.
Snake, your first task is to meet up with... Snake, Snake, the fake death and revival pills we gave you are the latest in internal medicines developed...
The motion detector will display any moving objects in your vicinity. But the enemy isn't the only thing that's moving around in the jungle. If there are animals moving nearby, the sensor will pick up those animals too. And remember that there's a limit to how sensitive it is. Enemies and animals that don't move around very much won't get picked up. Did he tell you that too?
Yeah. Did you give him notes for it?
Yep. Wearing black face paint, huh? Painting your face with black paint should give you a high rate of camouflage in dark areas. Pattern clothing, face paint, tactical movements. These are the elements. The woodland paint is most effective in forest environments. It'll work best if you use it when infiltrating forest areas.
Tell me something, Sigint.
What's that?
What does Sigint mean, anyway?
It's short for signal intelligence.
Signal intelligence?
The part of intelligence that deals with electronic information. Things like intercepting and analyzing electronic communications, determining enemy force strength and positioning from radar emissions and radio chatter. You get the idea. Code breaking is considered part of SIGINT as well. 40 years from now, we'll be in the age of electronic warfare. It won't be long before information replaces firepower as the most valuable commodity on the battlefield.
So you're saying they won't need guys like me anymore?
Sorry to break it to you, but that's not gonna happen. No matter how advanced our technology gets, there's still no substitute for human beings. Anyway, the Major is a man of foresight. He knew the electronic age was coming, and so he called out to me.
And you responded?
Well, I didn't have any place else to go.
You couldn't find a job?
Nope. None of the places where they do this kind of high-tech research would even let me in the door.
Why not? I know you've got social problems, but...
Come again?
Nothing. I mean, someone with your talent ought to be able to...
Yeah, well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that I'm black. The Major, though, he doesn't care about what color you are. I've never met anyone like him before. He's different, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I don't think racism's gonna go away even in the 21st century. But I want to work with computers and use them to bring people closer together. In the digital world, it doesn't matter whether you're black or white, American or Russian or whatever. Everybody's gonna be the same. That's what I think. Keep in mind that every weapon and piece of equipment weighs...
That area... Snake, you'll get a stomachache if you eat something rotten. To cure a stomachache, go into Cure in the survival viewer and take some digestive medicine.
While hanging, use the... Snake, you're first. Snake, if you find an item box...
Using the anti-personnel sensor, I see. The sensor vibrates when it detects organic reactions from human targets. It's been adjusted to respond only to humans, so unlike other sensors, it'll let you ignore animals and focus only on the enemy. It'll even detect enemies that aren't moving, and you won't have to worry about it giving away your position. But on the flip side, it won't tell you the exact location of the target. Keep that in mind when you're using it. Also, remember that when you use it in first-person view, it'll only scan in the direction you're facing.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
Did he use the exact same words?
Yeah.
Man, that guy still lives in the Stone Age. Just the other day, he bought this brand new washing machine and...
SIGINT?
Talk to you later, Snake. Looks like you're using splitter face paint. Splitter is an indoor face paint. Painting your face with splitter should help you blend in better when you're infiltrating a building. Covering your body is a good start. But a bare face will kill even the best camouflage. If the situation... Pattern clothing. Tree bark is a forest pattern created primarily for use by hunters. It'll give you an exceptionally low profile if you wear it when you're pressed up against a tree. Tiger stripe is a forest camouflage. As you may... Squares is a mountain camo that's basically a bunch of square patterns. It might look conspicuous at first glance, but it actually blurs the contours of the person wearing it and makes them more difficult to pick out. It should give you a low profile against reddish backgrounds like bricks and rusty metal. Your field uniform is...
Leeches will sometimes attach themselves to you if you spend a long time in the water or the swamp. When you've got leeches on you, they'll suck your blood, causing you to lose stamina. You should get rid of them as soon as possible. To get rid of leeches, go into Cure in the survival viewer and press your cigar into them. Or, if you use the insecticidal bug juice ahead of time, the leeches won't bother you as long as the bug juice is in effect. Snake, that area's in... When you get hurt, your...
You can't keep hanging. Snake, you're first. After you've grabbed an enemy from behind with...
Ah, you're wearing the mask. I made it myself. Pretty good work, don't you think? A while back, they were planning to disguise someone as this one GRU officer and send them in to steal some secret documents. I created the mask for that operation. But then the mission ended up being canceled. And then the major came and told me to throw it out. Can you believe that guy?
But you didn't throw it out.
Are you kidding? Tossing a superior quality product like that into the garbage without using it will be an insult to science. So I decided to use it to hide your face from the crew of the gunship during the Virtuous mission.
Okay, but is it really that big of a deal?
Of course it is.
What's so great about it?
Everything. But if I had to pick one reason, I'd have to say it's because it's the first mask ever that can blink its eyes.
What about the lips?
What's that?
Can it open its mouth?
That's a good one, Snake. You crazy, man.
I'm serious.
Are you even listening to me, Snake? Where's your common sense? Damn.
Sorry?
The black uniform isn't really camouflage. It was intended to have a psychological shock effect on enemies in hostage rescue operations and stuff like that. But it should also make you pretty hard to see if... When you fire continuously with a gun like this, the black uniform... Painting your face with black paint should give you a high...
Snake Eye. Huh? Hello there?
Paramedic, it's me.
Snake? Oh, it's you. For a minute there, I thought you were someone else.
Why are you so nervous? You've seen this mask before, right?
Yeah, but it looks so cool.
Huh?
Cool. You know, kind of like a Venusian.
A Venusian?
I mean, not the crab kind, the other kind.
Paramedic, do you really think a guy you've never seen before would suddenly call you on this frequency?
I know it sounds ridiculous, but still. What if it was a being from another planet? You can't rule out that possibility. There should be an herb called China. Snake, I looked at your medical record. You've been exposed to an atomic blast?
Yeah, the Bravo shot. It was a hydrogen bomb test conducted at Bikini Atoll on March 1st, 1954. I was at the American base on Kwajalein in the Marshall Islands when the ashes of death started falling from the sky.
Any symptoms?
None. At least, not yet. But a lot of the guys who were in it with me are now suffering from thyroid cancer and leukemia. Some of them are dead already. One of these days. Anyway, I'd better get back to the mission.
Yeah. When you get shot with an arrow, your maximum life will go down depending on how bad it is, so watch out. You can let the wound heal naturally, or you can treat it using Cure in the survival viewer to make it heal right away. To treat an arrow wound, first use your knife to dig the arrow out. Then disinfect the wound and apply styptic to stop the flow of blood. Once that's all done, the arrow wound should heal right up. Snake, unlike food poisoning is caused by eating poisonous food. To take a rest, all you have to do...
Snake, you're first. Snake. Equip food as a weapon.
I've never seen a grenade like that one before. There are two basic types of grenades. Fragmentation grenades, which use shrapnel to kill or maim the target, and explosive grenades, which use the blast from the explosion as the offensive means. But the grenade you've got there isn't either of those. My best guess is that it's meant to knock the enemy out without hurting them. Most likely, it's an entirely new kind of weapon developed exclusively at Groznygrad. I've heard that the SAS is working on a low-impact grenade for training purposes, but I never thought they'd be used in an actual battle. The flash of light that occurs when the grenade explodes is probably produced by magnesium. It's the same stuff that's used in camera flashes. I'm thinking they cut down on killing power by reducing the amount of explosives and made up for it by making the flash and bang so strong that it overwhelms the enemy's senses. I guess you could call it a stun grenade.
If I'm going to be stunned, I'd rather it be by a woman.
Snap out of it. Anyone around when that thing goes off will be laid out. It ought to come in handy when you're trying to storm a room or when you don't want to kill the enemy. Splitter is an indoor face paint. Painting your face with splitter should help you blend in better when you're infiltrating a building. Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of equipment, the first thing you do... Splitter is an... Splitter...
There should be a mushroom called the Bicol scalytooth growing in that area. The Bicol scalytooth mushroom is used as an antidote to poison. It usually grows on the trunks of trees, so look for it there. Snake, unlike the Virtuous mission, this is a night operation. Snake, that area's...
Snake, the damage that an enemy takes from your gun. Press the... By equipping grenades and press... After you've grabbed an...
I see you're using the binoculars. Those are high-performance binoculars made especially for the military. They're completely waterproof and are filled with nitrogen gas to prevent lens fog. The eyepiece, objective lenses, and the prism have been coated to reduce glare. They ought to work plenty well even in dark places. And they're even equipped with autofocus and zoom functions. Won't find a better pair of binoculars than that.
What are you, a binocular salesman?
Hey, I know a good product when I see one, that's all.
Huh.
Splitter is an indoor face. Covering your body is a good start. The camo index. Splitter is...
You should be... There should be an... You can capture...
Snake, your first task is to meet up with Adam. Snake, your... I see you've equipped the binoculars.
Yep. Scouting is the bread and butter of sneaking missions.
Are you finding them useful?
Yeah, the performance is top-notch, and they're easy to use. These are some good binoculars.
Really? Sigint will be pleased to hear that.
Why does Sigint care?
Because he made them.
Now I get it.
What do you mean?
Don't worry about it.
From what I hear, it took him more than a year to finish them.
I'll admit they're good binoculars, but what took him so long? Was it grinding the lenses?
No, it was the style.
The style?
Yes, he said he could never get the body design just right. Thanks to all his blasted tinkering, we went 3 times over budget. He'd better have a will ready before I get done with him. Snake, press...
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks. Hey, this works. I'm full.
The black uniform isn't really camouflage. The camo index. You're on a solo sneaking mission. Your success is based on your ability to survive. That's where the survival viewer comes in. The survival viewer contains every... Whenever you find a...
Cuts happen when you get slashed with a knife or... To take a rest, all you... Snake, unlike the...
Snake, your first task. Snake, your first... Press the CQC button when you're up against a wall.
Do you want to save? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks. That means a lot. What can I say?
When you're using the...
Snake, king cobras are making their home in the area you're in now. The king cobra is the world's largest venomous snake. Its large size means that it has a lot of venom to inject. One bite is supposedly enough to kill an elephant. And it's extremely vicious as well, so watch out. If you get bitten by a king cobra and injected with venom, your life will start to decrease rapidly. As soon as you're bitten, go into the survival viewer and use Cure to give yourself a serum injection. The king cobra's diet consists mostly of other snakes. Be careful, or you might end up as its next meal.
Got it. So...
What? How does it taste?
Yep.
Ugh. It seems you're the one whose diet consists of other snakes.
You're making me blush.
The guide says they taste just fine. Ugh. Snake, that area is inhabited by the green tree python. The green tree python isn't venomous, so no need to worry. It's fairly docile too, so I don't think it's likely to attack you. The green tree python originally comes from Australia and New Zealand. It's a really pretty green color, and it lives... Oh my God.
What's wrong?
Snake, what did I just say?
They come from Australia and New Zealand.
No, after that.
They're a really pretty green color.
I thought so. What was I thinking? Seeing a snake and calling it pretty?
What's wrong with that?
Everything. When a normal woman sees a snake, she's supposed to scream or get sick or something like that.
And you think you're normal?
What was that?
Nothing.
Oh, it's all your fault. Snake, that area is in...
You just heard a horse?
Yeah,
You sure it wasn't something else?
I know a horse when I hear one.
Paramedic, are there any wild horses in Celino Yask?
Do you really expect me to say yes?
No.
So what should I do?
There's only one way through that area. All you can do is move forward. Head towards the sound of that horse. It came from the north. Be careful. Snake, you're... Press the action.
Looks like death wasn't ready for you yet.
Boss,
That arm still hurt?
what are you doing here?
Go home. Go home. Gru and my sons are waiting up ahead. You don't have a prayer of finishing your mission. You're not even armed.
Boss!
I'm not your boss anymore. There's nothing for you here. Go home. Go back to your boss. There's no need to prove that you are virtuous here. This isn't America. That should stir things up a bit. You'd better hurry. The border is 60 miles south of here. You ought to be able to run that far.
Why'd you defect?
I didn't. I'm loyal to the end, to my purpose. What about you, Jack? What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your old mentor? The mission or your beliefs? Your duty to your unit or your personal feelings? You don't know the truth yet. But sooner or later, you'll have to choose. I don't expect you to forgive me. But you can't defeat me either. You know me too well. Just look at that bandana. If you can't put the past behind you, you won't survive long. If we meet again, I'll kill you. Now, go home.
This is Snake. Major Zero.
I read you, Snake.
I was ambushed by the boss.
You were what?
The drone's been shot to hell. It's up in flames.
That's not good. Enemy scouts are going to come looking for you.
Yeah, I know. But what was the boss doing here in the first place? There's got to be a leak somewhere.
No, that's impossible. The man the boss is working with, Volgin, isn't exactly on speaking terms with Khrushchev.
I lost my gun. The boss destroyed it.
Snake, I know how you're feeling. It's hard for me to believe, too, that a legendary hero like the boss would go over to the Russians. That she'd double-cross us like this. But that's how it is, and if you don't accept it, you'll never be able to beat her.
That's not the problem. In terms of sheer technique, I'll never be able to beat her. I know that all too well.
You've got to do it, Snake. She's your enemy and your objective.
Enemy? We were together for 10 years, and now you tell me she's my enemy?
Enough. Hurry to the factory where Adam is waiting. Scouts have probably already been sent out to investigate the explosion. You've lost your weapon, right? That means you've got no chance of winning in a battle situation. Whatever you do, don't let them see you.
Whenever you find a new weapon or... Tiger Stripe is a forest camouflage. Covering your body is a good start.
To take a rest, all you... Snake, unlike... That area...
Major.
Snake, the boss is your enemy. You've got to accept that reality. Adam is waiting for you at the abandoned factory to the north of your current position. Head north. The enemy must have seen the drone explode. They've probably already sent out patrol units. You never know when you'll encounter the enemy. Use your camouflage wisely and proceed with caution. Remember that you've lost your gun. You don't stand a chance in a fight against an enemy unit. Use your camouflage and don't let the enemy see you.
Major, why was the boss there? Did they detect my infiltration?
That's impossible. The drone shouldn't have been picked up by their radar at all.
Then how did she know? It couldn't have been a...
That's also out of the question. We've taken all measures to ensure this mission stays secret.
Then what's going on?
I don't know. It won't do you any good to dwell on it, Snake. Hurry to your rendezvous with Adam. Head for the abandoned factory to the north. Watch out for enemy patrols. Stay alert at all times, okay? Snake, you don't have a tranquilizer gun right now. That means you'll just have to capture animals with your bare hands or with your survival knife. You should be able to harvest mushrooms and other low-lying plants with no problem by punching them or using your knife. It'll be tougher to catch small animals, but you might have a chance if you use stalking from behind.
Major.
What is it?
Why did the boss betray us?
Leave it alone, Snake.
But...
We've been through this before. Besides, asking for reasons now won't change anything.
I thought I'd find out if I met her face to face. I thought for sure she'd tell me, but...
Then you'll have to find your own answers.
By completing my mission?
Yes. After you've grabbed an enemy from behind, press the crawl.
Do you want to save? Take care, Snake.
I will.
What's this?
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We have evidence of an enemy intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
Radio, where's our backup? Radio man must have done it.
In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter might be equipped with Scorpion submachine guns and shotguns. The Scorpion is even lighter than the AK, making it much easier to handle. Basically, a guy with a Scorpion is not gonna miss you as often as with an AK. The shotgun is a powerful weapon. One blast is enough to floor you and you're likely to be seriously wounded. Watch for that, man. Whenever you find a new weapon or piece of equipment, pattern clothing, fake.
That area is home to the reticulated python. When you get shot with an arrow, your maximum life will go down depending on how bad it is. Snake, that area should be in when you get shot.
Adam is waiting for you at the abandoned Adam is waiting. In the corner view, press the left step.
Do you want to save? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Squares is a mountain camel. Squares. Squares.
Treating serious wounds. Snake, that area is inhabited by European rabbits. The European rabbit is said to have come from the Mediterranean region originally, but nowadays they're found all over the world. They've been used since ancient times as a source of food, so it might be worth catching them. Rabbits are known to eat their own excrement.
They eat their own...
That's right. It's called cecal feces. When the rabbit eats fiber, the fiber is fermented in the rabbit's appendix, or cecum, and turned into a nutritious substance full of vitamins. The rabbit excretes this substance and then eats it again to absorb the nutrients.
That's a neat trick. I think I'll give it a try.
Snake, rabbits and humans don't work the...
I'm just kidding. You really thought I was going to eat it?
A little, yeah.
Even I wouldn't do that.
I guess not.
But how did those seagull feces taste?
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. To take a rest, all you have...
Adam is waiting for you at the abandoned factory to the... Snake, you don't... By equipping grenades and pressing the weapon button...
Do you want to save? Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
I see you caught a markhor. The markhor is a kind of wild goat that lives in mountainous areas. It's quite large, so I don't think you'll be able to capture one alive, even with the tranquilizer gun.
All right.
Speaking of which, do you know the origin of the name markhor?
No.
It means snake eater in Persian.
Snake eater.
Lost your appetite?
Not at all. So, how does it taste?
It's supposed to be pretty good.
All right.
You'll get a stomachache if you eat something raw. Snake, unlike...
You're thinking of using a white phosphorus grenade. Like the name says, a white phosphorus grenade is one that uses white phosphorus to create an incendiary effect. White phosphorus grenades were used by the US military during World War II. Back then, they were known as Willie Pete's, after the first two letters of white phosphorus. The one you've got there is probably the exact same thing. White phosphorus is a white, waxy substance that spontaneously combusts when it reacts with oxygen. The combustion temperature is over 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Any human targets within the area of effect when it explodes are gonna get seriously burned. Just make sure you don't accidentally set yourself on fire. If your body does catch on fire, either plunge into some water or take off the burning clothes and put on new ones. Rolling repeatedly should put the flames out pretty quick too. Whenever you find a
Pretty tasty. I'm full. Hey, this works. Gross.
That's a weird grenade you got there. From what I can tell, it's an anti-electronics weapon that works by scattering a bunch of metal foil in the air to interfere with radio signals. Call it a chaff grenade, if you will. By using a chaff grenade, you can disrupt the function of enemy radios and electronic devices for a short period of time. But keep in mind that as long as the chaff is in effect, you won't be able to use your motion detector or active sonar either.
Hold on 1 second while I BRB. And I'm back. Alright. So I forgot to type in some of the second conversations, but pretty much we're all caught up. So we got the grenades going and all that. Also, let me take off the text, and we're good. Alright, let's continue this game.
Covering your body is a good start, but a bare face will kill even the best camouflage. If the situation calls for a covering your pattern
Snake, Snake, you will encounter Baltic hornet's nests. You should be able to...
After you've grabbed an enemy from behind with Seek, Adam is waiting for you at the... Your actions can...
What the? I'm just seeing things. Huh? Wearing raindrop pattern camo, huh? Raindrop was used by Germany during World War II. Even now, it's still used a lot in Eastern Europe. It's designed to be especially inconspicuous in the rain, so you'll get the most out of it if you put it on during a downpour. Your field uniform is not just... In addition to AK... Squares is...
You'll find a fruit... You'll find... Some types of...
Adam is waiting for you at the... Adam is... Snake, be careful. The way to change between standing...
Leaf pattern is a forest camouflage created to provide cover in wood. You're on a solo sneak. Keep in mind that every weapon...
Do you want to save? Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Keep in mind that every weapon you can pattern close.
That area. Burns happen when you're engulfed in flames or get caught. Snake, there are rats living in that area. That area.
You've arrived at the factory, I see.
Yeah, now to meet up with this Adam guy.
Good. Go to it.
So where is he?
We weren't given an exact location.
How about a time?
Nothing was specified.
A physical description?
I'm not sure.
How am I supposed to find him then?
You won't need to.
Huh?
He'll find you. Why don't you try the room to the northeast where you met Sokolov? Adam might be in there. Adam is a spy sent by the KGB to infiltrate Volgin's ranks. You'll need to be extremely careful in how you approach him.
Obviously. He can't let Volgin know he's meeting me.
That's right. Adam won't show up if you're being pursued by the enemy. Before you go to rendezvous with Adam, make sure you haven't been seen by the enemy. Meet up with him in normal phase. Got it? Snake, let's go over the control. Snake, when you stand up against a tree...
Got yourself an AK-47, huh? The AK-47 is the official assault rifle of the Soviet Army. The first model was completed in 1946, and in 49, it beat out all its competitors to become the standard assault rifle of the Soviet military. It uses 7.62 millimeter by 39 rounds developed in 1943, and a 30-round box magazine originally designed for a different assault rifle. You can aim it from the shoulder by equipping it in first-person view and holding down the aim button. It's sturdy and extremely reliable with high power and precision. There's no better assault rifle in the world. Keep in mind that every weapon... So you've got your uniform and your face paint. Snake, what are you doing?
I'm in a box.
A cardboard box? Why are you...
I don't know, I was just looking at it, and suddenly I got this irresistible urge to get inside. No, not just an urge. More than that. It was my destiny to be here. In the box.
Destiny?
Yeah. And then when I put it on, I suddenly got this feeling of inner peace. I can't put it into words. I feel safe. Like this is where I was meant to be. Like I'd found the key to true happiness.
Uh-huh.
Does any of that make sense?
Not even a little.
You should come inside the box. Then you'll know what I mean.
Man, I don't want to know what you mean. Between you and Paramedic, is everyone but me that is hooked up with a Major Strange? Yeah, well, anyway, I suppose even that dumbass box might make a decent disguise if you wear it inside a building. Whenever you find...
Snake, unlike... When you get...
Adam won't show up if you're being pursued by the enemy. Before you go to rendezvous with Adam, make sure you haven't been seen by the enemy. Meet up with him in normal phase. Got it? If you crawl into the grass, you can... Snake, press the left stick down.
Do you want to save? Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Snake, your face paint is...
I know. It's called zombie.
Zombie? What does that mean?
Beats me.
Are you serious?
Hello, Paramedic.
You mean you've never heard of zombies?
Nope.
Never.
You guys don't know anything. A zombie is a dead body that's been cursed and brought back to life by a master of black magic. Supposedly, they revive the dead and use them as slaves. It's also seen as a kind of punishment. People who commit terrible crimes can be forced to labor even after they're dead.
Interesting. How do you know all this stuff?
I saw it in movies. Like White Zombie. Never seen it?
Nope.
Can't say I have.
How about Plan 9 from Outer Space?
No.
Missed it.
You can't just focus on the things you like all the time. You have to expand your horizons, try new things. You guys need to get out more.
Yeah, well, anyway, that face paint doesn't look all that useful. Go ahead and wear it if you want, but I think you should change to...
You don't need to change anything.
Why not?
It makes them look awesome. Doesn't it?
Look, arguing about it isn't going to get us anywhere. Snake, you do whatever you want.
It does make you look cool. Snake, there are...
Using the mine detector, huh? When you equip the mine detector, it lets you know with a sound if there are any claymore mines nearby. A mine detector is basically a metal detector, so ordinarily it reacts to scrap iron the same way it reacts to mines. They say that only about 1 out of every 100 objects it responds to is an actual mine. Not exactly what you call reliable. So they're researching other ways to detect mines, like sniffing for molecules given off by explosives and using a kind of underground radar. One of these days, they might actually make something that works. But the one you're using is apparently set up so that it only reacts when it finds a claymore on the ground. No need to worry about it being fooled by anything other than a mine. I see you have the bug juice equipped. It's useful for keeping the bugs away. If you open the item window and press the enter button, you'll be able to keep the nasty critters like hornets and leeches at bay for a brief period of time. Use it well. Looks like you've got this.
To take a rest.
Why don't you try the room to the northeast where you met Sokolov? Adam might be in there.
Sorry I'm late.
Cut the engine. They'll hear us.
Are you the agent they sent?
Are you Adam? I thought you were supposed to be a man.
Adam couldn't make it.
All right, say the password. Who are the Patriots? Who are the Patriots? Answer me! Trapped.
Get down! There is your answer. The name's Eva.
This wasn't part of the plan. What happened to Adam?
What's your code name?
It's Snake.
Snake, huh? Well, I'm Eva. Are you here to tempt me?
What happened to Adam?
Colonel Volgan is a very suspicious man. He decided Adam wasn't the right person for this mission.
And you were.
Yes,
Why?
because I can do things he can't.
I heard you used to be a codebreaker for the NSA.
I was. 4 years ago, I defected to the Soviet Union with Adam.
Mauser military. The broom handle.
It packs quite a punch. Nice to have when you're on a bike.
You held it sideways and used the muzzle jump to create a horizontal sweep. That was impressive.
Bet you've never seen that technique in the West.
It's imitation, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a Chinese Type 17 pistol. Around here, even that's hard to come by. Don't worry, though. The one I've got for you is American-made.
.45, huh? Incredible.
Do you like it?
The feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. The slide's been reinforced, and the interlock with the frame is tightened for added precision. The sight system is original too. The thumb safety is extended to make it easier on the finger. A long type trigger with non-slip grooves. A ring hammer. The base of the trigger guard's been filed down for a higher grip. And not only that, nearly every part of this gun has been expertly crafted and customized. Where'd you get something like this?
I grabbed it from a Western munitions armory. It probably used to belong to one of your officers, and there are more where that came from. You had this with you, didn't you? Better take this too.
What's that?
A disguise to make you look like a scientist.
A disguise?
Yes. You're here to rescue Sokolov, right?
Sokolov's still safe then?
Yes. He's being forced to continue his work on the Shagohod.
Where?
At the lab. They've got a whole army of scientists there developing new weapons. Security is tight, but if you disguise yourself as a scientist, you might be able to sneak in.
Can we get Sokolov out of there?
We'll see, won't we?
Tell me how to get to the lab.
The safest way in is from the rear. First, you'll need to head north through the jungle. You'll come to a heliport used for shipping materials. Pass the heliport and continue north, and there will be a large crevice. Descend into that area, and you'll reach a cave. Move through the cave, and you will arrive at a mangrove swamp. After the swamp, there'll be a warehouse. Make your way through the warehouse, and you'll come out just south of the lab.
Got it.
And just what are you doing there?
In close-range combat, a knife can sometimes be more useful than a gun. By doing this, I'll be able to hold a knife at the same time and still keep the gun steady. That way, I can instantly switch between a gun battle and a knife fight. Right, let's get going.
Wait a minute.
What now?
You must be tired. Why don't you take a little rest?
I'll be fine.
You'll never make it in your condition. It's a jungle out there. There's still an hour before dawn. It's dangerous to be out in the jungle at night without a guide.
What about you?
I have to get back. I can't be gone for too long. They'll start to suspect something. Don't worry. I'll keep you updated over the radio.
That's it?
My orders are to provide you with information, nothing more. You look disappointed. All right, then. I'll do something special for you. I'll stand watch until dawn. Now be a good boy and lie down. What's the matter?
I don't know you well enough to trust you.
How well do you have to know me to trust me?
I don't know if I can trust anybody.
Gonna get that?
She's right, Snake. You should get some sleep. Although in your condition, you really ought to be back in the ICU. Whenever you save the game and quit, you'll go to sleep. Sleeping allows you to gain back stamina naturally. Depending on how long you sleep, you may also recover naturally from sickness and injury. When you're tired or hurt, the best thing to do is just get some sleep. So do yourself a favor and take a nap. Doctor's orders, okay?
Yeah, okay.
What's the matter?
We're surrounded. I see 4 of them.
We've got company. It's the Ocelot unit. Let's get out of here. Hurry! Don't forget your gear. Here, give me a hand. We can use this to get to the basement. Damn it! Ocelot. I'll get past them on my bike. I'll call you later.
Okay, I'll keep them busy. Huh?
Don't go dying on me now.
Those rifles the Ocelots are using aren't AK-47s, are they?
No. They kind of look like AKMs, but they're different.
Different how?
They've got steel handguards and vertical type foregrips, and the muzzle suppressor is bigger.
A carbine version of the AKM, huh? Hungary has a unique modified version of the AKM called the AMD-63. I heard something before about them making a prototype carbine version of that. My guess is they probably imported some of those prototypes. If they're using a carbine version of the AMD-63 like I'm thinking, then they could be a serious threat. Those things handle better than the AK-47s, especially at close range. And don't forget, the Ocelots are elites. They're gonna be better shots than normal Spetsnaz, and you're that much more likely to get seriously hurt. Keep your eyes open. Heads up, Snake. Looks like some of those guys are equipped with M63s. The M63 is an American-made light machine gun. It's got more firepower than you might think. It can punch through a wall too, so watch out. You said some of them are using shotguns? Those shotguns are M37s. They're an American model designed for field combat. Not all that dangerous from a distance, but at close range, they'll tear you to shreds. Be careful. Looks like some of them are using Scorpions. The Scorpion is a Czechoslovakian submachine gun. They don't have the stopping power of a rifle, but they're easier to handle and lethal at a medium range. If you eat more than a couple of rounds, it's not gonna be pretty. Don't fool around. Snake, watch out for those grenades they're tossing. You'll be injured pretty bad if you get caught in the blast. You could get burned too. If somebody throws a grenade at you, get away from it and hit the deck. Snake, if you fire that thing without a suppressor attached, the bang and the muzzle flash will give your position away to the enemy. Attach a suppressor and you won't have to worry about all that. To attach a suppressor, open the weapon window and press the circle button. Snake, they're using stun grenades. Watch out!
Stun grenades?
Yeah. It's a new weapon they invented themselves. It uses an intense blast of light and sound to knock out the enemy temporarily. If you're looking at the light from one of those things when it goes off, you can kiss your optics goodbye. If one gets tossed your way, turn around quick. Snake, if you fire that thing without a suppressor attached... Snake, watch out for... You said some of them are using
When you have a serious injury, Snake, you run a higher risk of getting... Snake, keep... Snake.
It appears you've been completely surrounded.
Yeah, so I gathered.
If Eva is to escape from there...
Right. I'll have to take them all out.
Snake, you must defeat all the Ocelots. That's the only way to ensure Eva's safe escape, as well as your own. But you're up against a lot of them. Don't try to take them head on. Approach them without being seen and dispatch them one by one. And don't forget to use your camouflage. Snake, don't try to engage the Ocelots head on. There are too many of them. If they surround you, you'll be finished. Use your camouflage to approach them without being seen, and take them out one by one. If you don't camouflage yourself properly, you run the risk of being spotted and attacked by snipers or other faraway enemies. Don't forget to use the camouflage screen in the survival viewer to disguise yourself. Always maintain a high camo index. Snake, enemy soldiers who move in file pose a serious threat. Try to take them out one at a time, starting with the one at the back. Snake, there were drums filled with fuel in the factory. If you shoot a bullet into one of those drums, the resulting explosion should send any nearby enemies flying. Use them to your advantage. Snake, there's no telling where the enemy might be hiding. Be sure to check the ceilings and the bushes. Don't let your guard down even for an instant. Eva needs you to distract the enemies until she can escape on her motorcycle. She's probably out there somewhere waiting for her chance. Don't worry about her. Focus on defeating the enemy. Understood? Snake, it appears they've got snipers in place. Snipers are excellent shots. If they hit you, you're likely to be wounded. Find the snipers and neutralize them before they can shoot you. If you do get shot at, take cover behind something. Understood? Snake, enemy soldiers who move in file pose a serious threat. Try to take them out one at a time, starting with...
You going to save? Good luck.
Thanks.
I see him! Up there! Up there! Up there! I see him!
First, enter the cave through the crevice. Eva said it was to the north, so head that way. First, enter the cave through the... First...
You'll get a stomachache if you eat something. Snake,
The Mark 22 is a tranquilizer gun. You can use it to take enemies down without hurting them. The thing is, the amount of time it takes for the tranquilizer to work depends on which part of the body the dart hits. If you need to drop an enemy in one shot, aim for the head. The Mark 22 can also be equipped with a suppressor. With a suppressor equipped, you won't need to worry about anybody hearing the shot. But the suppressor will deteriorate each time the gun is fired. The durability of your suppressor is displayed on the weapon icon whenever the suppressor is equipped. Be sure to keep an eye on it. A suppressor can be unequipped by pressing the enter button while the weapon window is open. It's a good idea to take the suppressor off a gun when you don't need it. Pattern clothing. So you're wearing the scientist uniform. Wearing that scientist outfit lets you pose as a scientist. But be forewarned, you can't equip most of your weapons while you're disguised as a scientist. Even when you're disguised, your cover will be blown if you get blood on your clothes or something. If you do get blood on your clothes, take them off and switch to another outfit. The bloodstain should come out after a little while. So you've got an M1911A1, huh?
Yeah, Eva gave it to me. She said it used to belong to a Western officer.
Looks like someone did a little work on it, too.
It's more than a little. First of all, the feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. It's not going to have any feeding problems. The slide's been replaced with a reinforced version, and it meshes perfectly with the frame. The frame itself has been iron welded and scraped down multiple times for maximum precision. The front strap part of the frame has been checkered to make it dig into the hand. That prevents any slipping. The sight system's original too. It's a 3-dot type. It's got an enlarged front sight, giving it superior target sighting capability. The regular hammer's been replaced with a ring hammer. That enhances the cocking control and increases the hammer down speed. They also reworked the grip safety to accommodate the ring hammer. Looks like they eliminated it altogether. This is a tool for pros. The thumb safety and the slide stop are extended to allow for more precise handling. The base of the trigger guard is whittled down so you can use a high grip. And the trigger itself is a long type for easy finger access. The trigger pull is about 3.5 pounds. That's about 1.5 pounds lighter than normal. The magazine well has been widened to make it easier to put in a new magazine. The magazine catch button has been cut down low to make it harder to hit it by mistake. The mainspring housing has been changed to a flat type to increase grip, and it's even been fitted with stepping so it doesn't slip from the recoil when firing. On top of that, they added cocking serrations to the front part of the slide. That lets you load and eject cartridges faster in an emergency. Whoever did this is a professional. No question, this thing could shoot a one-hole at 25 yards in a machine rest.
Well, I'll be damned. That's some gun.
Yeah, I've never used a weapon this fine in my life.
I've been waiting for this moment. That's it! That's the stance! I don't think so. What? A female spy? This bitch is wearing perfume. Stay where you are. I've had enough of your judo.
I see you've got yourself a single-action army.
That's right. There'll be no accidents this time.
You call that an accident? Well, it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been showing off.
What did you say?
It's a nice gun, I'll give you that. But the engraving gives you no tactical advantage whatsoever. Unless you were planning to auction it off as a collector's item. And you're forgetting one more very basic thing. You don't have what it takes to kill me.
We'll see.
That thing only carries 6 shots. The Makarov carries 8. You have to get a feel for how many you have left. This is a high-class weapon. It's not meant for shooting people.
Damn! This isn't over yet.
Don't.
Why?
He's still young.
You'll regret stopping me. Damn it! I've got to get back before he does.
It looks like you've got rid of all the ocelots.
Yeah.
Now proceed with the rescue of Sokolov. According to Eva, you should start by going to the crevice to the north and...
Can we trust her?
What's that?
Eva is with the KGB, isn't she? Can I really believe what she says? How do I know she won't double-cross me?
There are no guarantees in espionage, Snake, only calculated guesses. At this point in time, the KGB stands nothing to gain by stabbing us in the back.
So you're saying I can trust her?
I'm saying the chance that she'll betray you is low.
Ah.
Of course, we checked the route she gave you against our own data. It looks like a pretty solid infiltration route. It makes good use of weak spots in the enemy's defenses. You shouldn't have any problems. Follow the route Eva showed you and proceed with the mission.
Roger.
First, enter the cave through the crevice. Eva said it was to the north, so head that way. First, enter the cave through the crevice. Eva said it was to the north, so head that way. Eva was right when she said that operating in an unknown jungle at night is extremely dangerous. In my former outfit, the SAS, we'd always be sure to set up camp before sunset and wait until daybreak before setting out again. Being able to stay in that abandoned factory made things a lot easier for you. You ought to be thanking Eva.
Major, what's this temptation Eva was talking about?
In the Old Testament of the Bible, Eve was seduced by a snake into tasting the fruit of knowledge. By eating the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve disobeyed God's command and were cast out from the Garden of Eden. Thus, it was the snake who led mankind into original sin.
Come to think of it, I did break a rib in the Virtuous mission. Maybe that's where Eva came from.
But the one who tempted Adam into eating the forbidden fruit was Eve. You may be working together, but she's still a KGB operative. Don't let your guard down.
I don't intend to.
Snake, your number one priority in this mission is rescuing Sokolov. Eva said he is in the lab, so head over there.
Right.
Do you remember how to get to the lab?
You mean what Eva told me?
Yes.
Of course I do.
All right, repeat it for me.
Major, do you think I'd forget something like that?
Let's hear it then.
First I head north.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll come to a crevice.
And then?
And then...
All right, let's go over this one more time. First, head north through the jungle. Enter the cave through the crevice to the north. Follow the cave to the end and you'll come out in an aqueduct surrounded by a mangrove. Follow the aqueduct to the north and you should arrive at a warehouse. Climb out of the water and enter the warehouse. After you've infiltrated the warehouse, pass through it to the north. Then you'll emerge in the woods again. The lab will be directly to the north. Are we clear now?
Yeah.
Snake.
I got it. Basically, I just head north, right?
Snake, I heard you got a scientist disguise from Eva.
Yeah.
Go to uniform on the camouflage screen and choose scientist to disguise yourself as a scientist.
Scientist, huh?
But it won't do you any good to go around the jungle wearing a scientist disguise.
No one would be that stupid.
You're right. No one would think of going around the jungle in a scientist disguise. If they did, they'd have to be a fool. No, more than a fool. A complete dumbass. Don't you think so, Snake?
Yeah.
You can't keep hanging forever. You can get inside trees that...
Cuts happen when you get slapped. To take a rest. To eat.
Hey, Snake, remember back at the abandoned factory when you whittled the grip of that 45 down?
Yeah.
I've never heard of a customization like that before. Why the grip?
To fit it with a knife.
A knife? You're gonna keep the knife and the gun both at the ready?
That's the idea.
Why would you want to do that?
Sometimes a knife works better in close proximity encounters. So I equip both at the same time. That way I can switch back and forth in an instant.
Badass. So that's that.
CQC.
Snake, you said Eva said her Mauser was a Type 17, right?
Yeah, what about it?
That model was produced in the 1920s in a weapons lab in the Shaanxi province in China. The cartridge part sticks out lower than the original to accommodate 45 caliber rounds. The barrel and chamber are a little bit thicker too. But most telling of all, it's got Chinese characters engraved on both sides of the frame like you saw. And that firing stance Eva was talking about where you hold the gun horizontally, that's a trademark of the Chinese. Just like you were saying, when you're firing in full auto mode, the muzzle jump effect gives you a horizontal strafing motion. They say it's especially deadly in indoor and close-range mop-up actions. The Japanese called it bandit shooting and used to dread it. Makes you wonder where she learned to shoot like that. You know that army motorcycle that Eva was riding? That's a replica of a German model.
A replica?
Yeah. After World War II, the Soviets confiscated an entire assembly line from a German motorcycle factory, machines and all.
And then they took it back with them and started producing replicas?
Exactly. Originally, that motorcycle was designed to be used with a sidecar attached. That means it's got enough power to drag a 200-plus pound sidecar around.
So that's how she could pull off all those crazy stunts.
Uh-huh. Of course, it takes a lot of skill to be able to control that much power. That Eva chick is something else. Your field uniform is not just... Tree bark is a... When you fire
You want to save? Snake, have you ever seen On the Beach?
No, I don't know it.
It's about the survivors of the Third World War. The entire northern hemisphere is obliterated in a nuclear holocaust, and it's only a matter of time before the few survivors left in the southern hemisphere are poisoned by the deadly fallout. Their only hope is an American nuclear submarine that escapes to the southern hemisphere. They set out for the Arctic to investigate the fallout. The movie came out in '59, and the year that the war was supposed to happen was 1964. In other words, this year.
Nice warning. Let's hope it stays just a movie.
Do you want to save? Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Keep in mind that you can take off pattern clothes.
Snake, be careful. That area is inhabited by coral snakes. The coral snake is a venomous snake that originally hails from the Americas. Its venom is a very potent neurotoxin, so don't let it bite you. If you do get bitten, go into the survival viewer right away and use Cure to neutralize the poison with a serum injection. The colorful red and black patterns on the coral snake are a warning sign. Apparently, the bright flashy colors and pattern let other animals know that it carries a deadly poison that keeps them from attacking. There are many animals that mimic the colors of known poisonous animals as a defense. See, by mimicking other poisonous creatures, they increase their chances of survival. There is another non-poisonous snake called the milk snake that borrows its coloring from the coral snake.
Uh-huh.
You're not even listening, are you?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about something you're interested in then.
The taste?
Yes. It says here that coral snakes are pretty good in a snaky kind of way.
A snaky kind of way, huh?
Burns happen when you're engulfed in... That area is inhabited by the milk snake. The milk snake closely resembles the coral snake, but it's actually not venomous. Even so, you'll still take damage if it bites you, so don't get too close.
So is there a way to tell the difference between a milk snake and a coral snake?
It's pretty difficult. They really do look almost exactly alike. I guess if I had to pick something, I'd say it's that the milk snake is much less aggressive.
Okay.
Ah, I just thought of a better way. You're going to love this.
What?
Eat it.
Eat it?
Yeah, the guide says milk snakes don't taste very good.
Is that right? But if I've already caught and eaten it, what does it matter which kind of snake it was?
It doesn't, does it? Shoot, I thought I had a good idea. Snake, that area is inhabited by the poison dart frog. The poison dart frog is native to the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. They normally grow between 2 and 5 centimeters in length, but for some reason the ones in that area seem to be much bigger than that. Poison dart frogs are known to carry a potent neurotoxin called pamiliotoxin. Long ago, people used the poison to coat their arrows for hunting. Watch out, because if you eat one, you'll get food poisoning. That area is inhabited by Indian gavials. The Indian gavial is a large crocodile native to India and Nepal. It's extremely aggressive, so watch out. It's got a tough hide, so you'll have a hard time catching one. Capturing them alive is probably out of the question. When you get shot with an snake, that's the home to the otten frog. The otten frog is to take a rest,
That swamp seems pretty deep. It's probably deep enough to dive underwater and swim around. Press the crawl button when you're swimming on the surface to dive underwater. The controls when you're underwater are quite different from when you're on land. The left stick controls the direction you're facing. Press up, down, left or right to turn in that direction. Press the CQC button or the crawl button to move forward. Each button press will move you 1 stroke forward. Press the button repeatedly to swim faster. You can also press the action button to surface in an emergency. While you're swimming, you can use the right stick to look in a different direction without changing the direction you're going. Snake, you'll be helpless if a crocodile attacks you in the water. You can't see behind you when you're swimming, so if you're in a crocodile-infested swamp, keep an eye on your six. Also, by using your sensors, you should be able to detect crocodiles before they get too close. Snake, when you stand up against a... Snake, certain enemy soldiers... In first...
Do you want to save? Snake, have you ever seen the War of the Worlds?
No.
These flying saucers from Mars arrive on Earth disguised as meteorites. The saucers use their heat rays to attack the nearby towns. And then,
Something wrong?
the thing is, I was too scared to watch. I had my eyes shut almost the whole time.
Then you haven't seen it.
No, it's not that. It's based on a novel by H.G. Wells.
You haven't seen it, have you?
That does remind me, though. When I was 2 years old, my father listened to the radio drama version of the story. It was right after dinner on Sunday, and we were relaxing in the living room. They said monsters had come out of a meteorite that landed in New Jersey. It sounded just like a real live news broadcast. My father said he and my older brother actually believed it and started yelling and panicking. My mother supposedly grabbed me from my crib and took me out to the car, still wrapped up in blankets. But then, just as my dad was about to start the car, he realized that it was all just a radio drama. Because on the car's radio, they were playing Bing Crosby tunes. No matter what station he turned to, no one else seemed to be reporting on this big history-making news story.
Sounds like something out of the big broadcast.
Nobody said a word. We all went back to our rooms. My father and brother got off with a scolding from my mother, but I was the one who really suffered. After that incident, every time I acted up, my father and brother would scare me by saying, "The Martians are coming!"
That's terrible.
Isn't it, though?
So, you haven't seen the movie?
I saw it. So even nuclear weapons wouldn't work against the Martian war machines.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Snake, if you conceal yourself like the Martians did, the enemy won't know what hit them.
Conceal myself?
Maybe not in a meteorite, but if you can hide yourself inside something a little more close at hand.
Close at hand.
Something like a box.
Ah, I get it. So, you never saw the movie?
I saw it, all right? Saving the game, Snake? Snake, I'm behind you 100%.
Thanks.
Sorry, I keep going back and forth, but yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up. I wanted to save the game in this area rather than the other one, just because that probably keeps all the conversations that we've already done. I don't think she's gonna have a new movie talk. If she does, I'm gonna have to mute and then just raise the volume, which is fine. So what were the other movies? War of the Worlds was the recent one. On the beach. Okay. I doubt she'll repeat that, but...
Snake,
oh, shit.
have you ever
Okay.
seen For a Fistful of Dollars?
Nope, never.
It's a spaghetti western.
Spaghetti western?
It's really cool, especially the main character's stylish gunplay.
Gunplay?
I saw it in England on the Major's recommendation, but it hasn't come out in the States yet. It's so cool. They'll bring it to America, I'm sure. You have to see it sometime.
Sure.
Do you want to save? Take care, Snake.
I will.
Okay, I'm back. I also do the do not save just in case there's something there. I doubt it, but I mean, you can never be too safe with this game. Yeah, I think that's it. So just go ahead and quit the title because we already saved. We already moved on to the next area. So yeah, next stream will be. I mean, we got the intro part out of the way. We met with Sigint, got to have some fun moments with him. But for the most part, it's just pretty much... there shouldn't be as much Kodak talking next time. Definitely look forward to 2 boss fights. Actually, yeah, the first 2 boss fights. Next stream. So it was good stuff. Yeah, I do have to end it early. I know it's like 30 minutes early, but that's fine. We had a good sesh. Plus, we just got through the intro portion of the Snake Eater mission, so it's a good stopping point. Because I mean, we still have to go through like 3 more areas, I think, before the first boss fight. If I remember correctly, it's been a while, and I can't remember from like the speedruns because I mean, I just blaze through it so quickly. So, yeah. But yeah, I think that's. Oh, there's another notification. Let me see. I think it's just Barry. Yeah, Barry's streaming. Good old Barry. Yeah, there was no shoutouts really. Besides, thanks to Touchy for stopping by. I almost said TV, but no, it's not TV. But yeah, thanks Touchy for stopping by. Thanks to Super Soccer for the auto host. And yeah, we'll continue this tomorrow. As I said earlier during the intro, we're going to do a schedule change, so it's going to be from either 6 to 10 or 7 to 11. I don't think I can do 8 to 12. Yeah, I definitely can't do that. That's too late. If I don't start at 7, then that means it's going to be like an 8 to 11 stream. Because I can't sleep at 12. That's out of the question. I have to go to sleep by 11. Shit, so that means I shouldn't... Damn. Yeah, I shouldn't sleep at... I shouldn't end at 11, because that means that I still have to, like, wind down and all that. I can't immediately go to sleep after a stream. Damn. So that means 6 to 10 is, like, the best, but that's not... I don't know. I'll stream what I can, I guess. And then... yeah, I'll figure it out. If anything, maybe like 10:30 would be like the ending time. It gives me 30 minutes to wind down so I can go to sleep and fix this schedule. Or not fix it, but like get it on schedule. Because it's getting fixed tonight, pretty much. So, all right. Yeah, Selino Yarsk. What is that? I think that's like the very end, isn't it? That's like one of the last areas. Yeah, we're at Rosvet, so not that far. Yeah, I thought Selino Yarsk was the area that got nuked. But maybe I'm thinking of something else. Can't remember. I guess they didn't really... maybe they did. Because I remember them mentioning the site was like OKB 754 or something. But I don't remember if they said the name of the area. Whether it was Selino Yarsk or something else. Anyways. That's a stream. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow night. So, have a good one. And bye.
Yeah.